Hey, everybody. It's Thursday. And listen, what a Thursday this one is. Isn't that right, Washington football fans? Everybody. As you all can see, your girl CWall is sitting here with some guests. I got my guys, Wally and Felix, with me. I want them to introduce themselves because, listen, we got a lot to talk about, all right? So I don't know. Whichever one of y'all want to go first. Go ahead and introduce yourselves and let the people know who you are.
I guess I can go first. I'm on the top. I'm on the top of the box, so I should go first, right? All right. I'm Wally of the Urban Sports Team. Folks call me Wally. We have a sports podcast show all about DMV sports and some national speaking sports, but we cover. What do I call them? I call them the skins. What can I call them? Like literally, what can I really call them? Washington football team?
It's hard.
I should go that route. All right,
Washington football team.
Okay, I feel so fake when I say it, though. I feel so fake when I say it. Washington football team. All right, Washington football team. The Wizards. Can I call them the Bullets then? Can I call them the Bullets? I go back to the Bullets?
No, because if you call them the Bullets, that's the old name.
Okay, but they going back. They already got the jersey made up. Like they basically going back to the Bullets anyway. All right, the Washington Wizards, Nats, and also we talk hockey sometimes with the Caps. So, but it's cool talking sports. That's what we do. It's three of us. It's myself, my boy Ray, my boy Will. So three of us holding it down for the Urban Sports Center.
All right, after that long introduction.
I know, right? I'm long.
That's too long-winded. That's that podcast life. But I'm Felix Trammell. I cover the Washington football team. Skins is gonna come out all night, but yeah, I cover the Washington football team for 1340 AM Fox Sports in Richmond. Basically, I cover the Redskins, but I'm a diehard Wizards fan. I'm an O's fan. I'm not a Nats fan. Baseball, basketball, all the national sports as well, but my main focus is on the team that's headquartered in Ashburn. We'll say it like that.
I like that.
I told you the Washington football team.
That sounds too soccer.
Y'all at the beginning of this, I should have said, listen, every time you say the R word, you gotta pay a quarter.
A quarter?
Dang.
That's like, why I gotta be a quarter? Can be like 5 cents? Can be 5 cents though? Can be 5 cents? Why we go a quarter? Nice.
A quarter is usually $1.
$1? You think a quarter cheap? Man, we living in different lifestyles, man. The post charging dollars now to get a paper. Now we talking about quarter.
Hey, postage fine is $1 in the front meeting, so
Look, as you all can see, my CWall family, we're having some fun, right? Already, we are laughing instead of crying. Okay, and yes, I guess it's Wale, but I've been calling him Wally.
You call me Wally. Look, it's Wally. My nieces call me Uncle Wally. It's cool. I'm good. I'm Gucci with it.
So I met Wally and Felix. Felix was down in Richmond for training camp. Wally in the press box. So we've shared in the last couple years a few, just interesting moments watching the team on the field, at practice, and at games. And we've had to endure that pain together.
I think I've endured the pain longer than both of y'all.
Yeah, you have.
You think so?
I joined the Redskin band in 2007.
Yeah, that's real talk.
I was there when Sean Taylor was still alive.
Yeah, you feel it. Yeah, definitely. Let me take that back. Retract.
So I've been in person for I lose count of games, of embarrassing games in FedEx Field.
Ooh.
I can give you litany. Like the Monday Night Massacre 2009.
Oh,
I
you
remember
there?
that like it was yesterday.
Yeah. I remember that game too.
Yesterday. Yeah, it was. I've been through some stuff now. So
that's tough, man. That hurts my soul.
That Kansas City one in 2013 in the snow. Yeah. So
a whole lot. Listen, and I think one of my most favorite DC sports fans, Cameron Mingo, who is watching. Cameron, I don't know, but Cameron might have said when The team won the last Super Bowl. I think he was a year old, so he hasn't
Oh,
experienced
Oof.
poor
any of
child.
the glory days. So if anything, the team gotta listen. We gotta put all this behind us so that we gotta do this for Cameron
Yeah, do
and
a
Yeah.
camera, right?
everybody in his generation that doesn't understand what it feels like to be winners, real winners.
Yeah, Cameron. Sorry, Cameron. Sorry
Yeah,
about
Sorry,
that, man.
man.
I had
I
to shout
promise
you
you,
out.
the
I had to
team
shout
was good, and
you.
it was
Real,
prideful, man. It was.
the team was real good.
There
Yeah,
was Cameron. I was
it
in the sixth
was.
grade I was in the sixth grade, Cameron, or at that time. I believe I was in sixth grade. So yeah, it was a good time, man. It was good. I feel bad for it. It was a good time back then.
Yeah, I'm about to say I was in elementary. I was
Yeah.
rocking that starter jacket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Start.
yeah,
Start.
fresh joint too.
and we
No,
got
stars like that.
right. We got CWall team member Sherrod. He's watching us. My mom, y'all got to say what's up to my mama because she's
What's
always
up?
How
on.
you doing?
And of course,
Hey.
our fellow colleague Darrell. Darrell is on, and Darrell was like, "Man, this is wild." Yeah, Darrell, it's wild. I guess we need to go ahead and jump right in, y'all. We need to
Yeah, I
just
guess
go
so.
ahead and jump
Yeah.
right in to the Washington football team and everything that is going on with the Washington football team. So the highly anticipated article. All week long, we've been waiting on this article, and it was published around 5:30.
Yeah.
If you have not read the article yet, I think that you need to immediately read it line by line. Um, of course, a lot of this was probably overshadowed initially because of all the name change
Mhm.
conversations. But now here we are. And I want to give a moment. Let's give a minute for those that are watching online while we're talking to just share what they're feeling right now. What are their initial reactions to what's happening and what they read? Because I'm pretty sure folks are still trying to process what they read. It's a lot, right? So y'all comment. Let us know while we're talking how you feeling. Like Darrell said, this is wild. I don't know. Let's just go initial reactions. Felix, initial reactions, real quick.
Disappointment
Mhm.
and knowing the team like I do, it's not unexpected. I don't think it's unexpected. Anything I read in there wasn't unexpected. It wasn't like, oh my gosh. It just confirmed what most of us have rumored to be going on in Ashburn. I mean, realistically, we always said this team was a mess because we saw the on-field product. And now you kind of understand why the on-field product was such a mess when the behind the scenes and managerial part is a mess. So one can't be a mess and the other be great. It doesn't work like that. Winning organizations aren't like that. I mean, the few things you hear about the Patriots were on-field things. And that gets nipped in the bud so quick because they have a culture established.
Mhm.
And even teams like the Yankees, when they were going through their runs, you didn't hear this mess. They were winning. So it was disappointing because it just confirmed all the thoughts that went through your head. It just confirmed it. I mean, I just feel disappointed because you want the best, and then you assume the worst, and then the worst happens. So you're just disappointed. So that's how I feel. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
For me, it was immaturity. That's what came to mind. These are grown men acting like teenagers. Like that was it. Just like running a ship like teenagers. Like immaturity. At the end of the day, you're running a major company, and you want some type of stability, some type of maturity, and it was just immaturity. They're running it like as if they were college kids running an organization, and it doesn't work that way. And you have a historical football franchise, and you're running it that way. You know what I mean? That's what came out to me. It was like reading some of that stuff and just knowing that how the real world is in terms of, organizations, governments, and to not really have an official HR department. So when these ladies had issues, they can kind of like go to somebody, an arbitrary individual to talk about their concerns and say, you know what, I had enough. You got to have action, you know what I mean? Have somebody fight for them within the organization. They didn't have that, you know what I'm saying? And you have that in multiple organizations and even government jobs and places. So to me, it was just like the structure of the environment, the immaturity of the people up top. That's what stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to read off one of our viewers, loyal, faithful viewers, Mazdak, said he's disgusted, but not as bad as the rumors. So I'm also suspicious of how much is shared. So
Yeah.
well, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm all of the above. No, everything wasn't shared. I read through the article and I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Because some of it was expected, kind of the point when you're there, right? You get a whiff of the culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, y'all. So, it was already kind of commented because of legalities. Everything could not have been made public anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fair. That's the right thing to do. I have to get this off my chest because I think a couple weeks ago I had Rhiannon Walker, and y'all know Rhiannon.
Mm-hmm.
And Rhiannon and I are very good friends. And I have a lot of respect for her. And now that this news is public and her story is now public, it's tough. It was very tough for me being around there. I think one of the things that needs to be mentioned as well is we're fans. So it's like we have this as fans, you have this opportunity to cover your favorite team. So it's like, wow, this is a dream job. And let's be clear, it still is. This is absolutely what I would do all day, every day without any question.
Mm-hmm.
But when those things start to become a reality or someone starts to share, like I told somebody a while ago, I said, it's like finding out there's no Santa Claus or something just very disappointing, disheartening. This is a horribly ran organization. And it's tough for us to still be positive knowing that it's so bad. So bad. Right, y'all? Like, it's like you want to be positive.
So this did. I know, and it is it's a badly run organization. But see, and this is the thing too, where I try to use Ron Rivera, like Felix had mentioned before, that he's the right guy for this situation because he's a leader. And this is the thing, like you fired regardless. All right, so it was a badly run organization, but this coming out has hopefully changed the course of this organization because now you fired those individuals who were involved in this immature act, in these immature acts. And now, you have a leader in Ron Rivera who's trying to go towards the future, go towards another direction, trying to create change within this organization. So again, this organization has been running terribly for like so many some odd years, but at the same time, the glimmer of hope is that you have a guy now in place that can change the direction of this team and this franchise to win. Like you mentioned, my man who hasn't experienced something in 91, that when an organization was run correctly back then in 91 when they won the bowl and was an organization of pride and promise, and people were proud to be Skins fans. I almost said it, to be Skins fans and to be, I know I was close, and to be, say I was close, and to be proud and to even work there, to be proud to work in that environment. So hopefully Ron Rivera does that, and I have all faith that he will, because he's a man of caring about the players, caring about the community, caring about the fans. So I think that with the direction they're going now, they're trying to change the wrong, but with the direction they're trying to go now, I'm kind of for that.
Like I think I said this earlier to someone, or I may have tweeted this out. This is good to happen.
Yes.
because this is festered for so long that this needed to happen. And Coach Rivera is the right person for it because look the mess he went through in Carolina. People forget about the mess with Carolina, Richardson, and how they had to go through that. He held that team stable. Same thing here. It took we as fans, we advocated Bruce has got to go, Bruce has got to go, Bruce has got to go, Bruce got to go, because all they were was stirring the same pot. None of the ingredients changed. It was the same pot, so you just stirred it. It's gonna taste the same. We're getting the same result. So finally, it had to bottom out, and most things bottom out before they can bounce back. And this is the bottoming out period. But on the field, on paper, we don't look that bad. But we have to change everything that's behind closed doors. And I have faith in Ron to do that because he's going to hold people accountable. When I saw that Santos and Washington got fired on Saturday, on Saturday, and I'm like, this is July. Something's up. He's not having it. He's not. It's no longer okay. Something happened. We'll sweep it under the rug. We'll address it in the off season. It might blow over. The buck stops with Ron, and as much as the fan base dislikes Daniel Snyder, he did make this hire with Ron Rivera, and he's letting Ron clean shop. And I'm not going to defend Dan because he should. I'm not going to defend him.
We can't even defend
this was a good choice, though. And he's letting him do what he had to do. Ron was the advocate for the name change. He played all those cards right. He's doing this right, and so I think Ron was the best choice because I can only imagine, say they'd gotten like maybe not Urban Meyer, but if they got Lincoln Riley out of Oklahoma, he walk in the door and this is going on.
And let me shout out Rev T.
Rev T
from the Sports Revival. Let's all say what's up to Rev T.
What's up, Rev? March with me.
Yeah, right. So I just want Dan out of there. And so
she direct. I want Dan out of there.
She went right to it.
I know. How realistic that is going to happen, though? How realistic do you think that is, though?
Right. I was like, let me dig deep and find a nice, calm way to say this. That's what came out. So there's that. But listen, how do you? And I saw my guy Russ McCray said, the Billionaire Boys Club, and it's like, we talked about that a little bit before we went live, right? Like, is this something that would potentially be labeled as typical, right? Or things that happen. But I feel like once it's known, once it's public, and once it's gone on for so long, I mean, to you all's point, there's no HR department. There's no policies or protocols or anything in place. And I also want to bring up these minority owners that want out.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, here's what I think. Here's what I still feel deep down inside. My thought process is, what's the X factor? So follow me with this, y'all. If this might, and I don't want to call it typical behavior, I don't. But if this is behavior that folks have seen before in other organizations and what have you, in the fear of speaking out or saying anything because they might lose a job and they need to keep their job or things like that, then okay, right? Because the owner's been there this long, right? They've been there this long. So what is still missing out of this story? What is the X factor for these three minority owners said, you know what? Yeah, you changed your name and that's cool. You changing all these policies and procedures, that's cool too. You got Ron Rivera, that's beautiful. We don't want this no more. What could that be, y'all?
Sure, it's what's going out, and they probably got more information. They're probably sick of it. Everybody has to for me to judge somebody else's thought process in terms of everybody has their own morals, right? So they probably caught wind of it and was like, I'm done. You got the name, you got this, I'm done. and that's probably enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's all they need to know. You know what I'm saying? To want to take their shares out. But when you look at what Daniel Snyder is going to have to do to kind of get this all situated to have favor and not have the owners trying to block him out or knock him out of being an owner. It's going to have to. It's all about money at the end of the day. I know it's sad to say this, and it's the truth. Money talks. The only reason why the name changed anyway is FedEx was like, you know what, dude, you gotta change, or you ain't getting that bag from us. So in the end of the day, it's about money. So my thing is that if, say, for instance, because you probably couldn't kick Daniel Snyder out now, right? It probably had to be like the following season, right? If they have a season.
No, they can kick him out now.
They can't kick him out now.
They meet tomorrow. At any time, other owners can vote an owner out.
Yeah, okay.
But the thing is, can you get those owners to do that?
Yeah.
Because they have to feel that the team is hurting their pockets. Mm-hmm. Because, like you said, the name change didn't happen until it hurt Dan's pockets.
Yeah.
And FedEx said no. Nike wasn't going to sell it. And then once all that happened, the money talked. And that's what that was. But until the other owners see Dan Snyder hurting their pockets.
Yeah, they're not gonna
do anything. Yeah. They wouldn't even cared about the name until Nike and FedEx said something.
And they didn't, to your point too about Carolina. What did they do with Carolina?
I think they ended up doing it because I'm not sure. They did.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they did vote him out. But I'm trying to figure out what happened with his situation at that particular time, and how fast that turnaround was. It's just. They can't do it. It just depends. Again, it just depends on, like Felix said. Also, it's just like they're gonna look at their bottom line, and you're gonna have to see how cliquish they are. Because again, certain owners, a lot of owners don't like Snyder. We all know that, so we know that.
But he's aligned with
certain people though. But exactly, he's aligned with Jerry.
He's aligned with Jerry. Holds more weight than a lot of owners.
Yeah, like you got Jerry and Robert Kraft are the two individuals who had probably most of the clout.
Yeah.
He's aligned with Jerry, so Jerry holds clout. I agree with you. He holds clout.
So he's always been to that corner. And we can say what we want about Dan. The team has still been profitable.
Yeah,
so
that's the problem.
Yeah. And so those minority owners, when they probably got wind of all of this, because it went through legal ramifications. Because minority owners usually aren't around the team.
Yeah,
they're not usually there. The only one who really kind of showed up wasn't the FedEx president. I can't think of his name. The one who's over the investment firm, he would come to games. But they would just come to games like any other fan. They come to games, stand on the field, see some pictures, go game, go home. They weren't on the day-to-day stuff. So when they found out about the day-to-day, I think they approached Dan like, all right, you've allowed this to go this far.
Yeah,
let us buy your share. Dan was like, no, this is a $3.4 billion franchise.
Yeah,
I'm not selling. So they're like, okay, I want out. And there will be enough people who will want to buy those 40%.
Of course, because money. They make money. They make money.
And so
they definitely make money.
So and now he's going to make money inadvertently because of the name change. Because as soon as they choose a name, boom,
another level.
Boom, everyone goes and gets stuff.
New jerseys.
He's about to get money for that.
New jerseys, everything. And also, Felix, you add in the point that not just the money they make, but at the end of the day, like it or not, fans, he's a diehard Skin fan. The owner is a diehard Skins fan. Like it or not. Yeah. So like it or not. And like so and that plays a part too.
Like a lot of
yeah. So like it or not. So when you think of like, he's gonna sell his shares, or like that's never gonna be a thing that he wants to do, because it's just like if you own the team, you know what I'm saying? Candy, if you own the team, or I own the team, like you can tell me whatever. You would say I'm running it to the ground. I'd be like, bro, you ain't checking me. You ain't checking me.
The only thing that can check him is money. And
it's money. Yeah.
With the name change, FedEx is going to have to honor that contract. That's $30 million a year just to say FedEx Field. Nike's going to have to sell the stuff.
Yeah.
Fans, we like wearing our stuff because we love our team.
Yeah.
We love our team. If you ask any fan, I love the Skins. I hate Daniel Snyder.
Yeah.
I love the Skins. I hate the owner.
Yeah. And he know it and go hands in hand. It goes hand in hand.
It goes hand in hand. So you want to.
And that's what I think is probably still so. I mean, because it's so much that is this climate. It's so much that's sensitive right now.
Mm.
I would be shocked if he still came out of this owning his team. Like
Mm.
if the other owners said, you know what, it's fine.
Mhm.
You can keep it. It's cool. I would be like, wow, how he get out of that?
Yeah.
Because I was like, the only thing that's gonna get him out of this right now is if he turned into Houdini. Because I don't know how.
But
know
I think
how,
this. I think I'm thinking this as Snyder. I feel like this one, he'll say there was enough of a buffer that he didn't know, or he didn't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
That Bruce was doing the day to day, and it never got to me because we had all been clamoring. You know, his first years on the team, he was in everything. He was trying to do too much. So now we asked him to step back, and he did step back. And now this stuff happens, and you're like, you know, he probably maybe a blip here and there. He's not a personable person. If y'all can attest to this,
Yeah.
I've been around the team for 13 years. Guess how many times I've spoken to him? Zero.
That's
you know that. Yeah.
And so, I mean, I've spoken to his wife twice, but to him, zero. And he's not an approachable person. So if you're an intern or you're a first year person working in the ticket office, you can't go to him. You're not allowed no access to him. So that's going to be his thing. I didn't know. I've hired this person who's going to revamp this HR department and institute all these policies and procedures, but he's not going to go.
Y'all, it's 2020 and they ain't got no HR department.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. That's crazy. I'm sorry, man. That's crazy.
It's 2020 and there's no HR department.
You running, oh my God, like you running a major organization and there's not an HR department. To even like to deal with in a place like that, harassment on a football team with, you know, people who have money, and usually when you have money, folks get very arrogant and thinking they can get away with anything, and not to have an HR department.
Well, I think that's the whole thing like that. That's the whole thing about it.
That's crazy.
Exactly right. Arrogance. You thought you could you've been getting away with it. And that's what I'm saying. At some point, at what point is it all right, Dan? The rest of the owners have to say, you've been doing too much. You've been doing too much. And oh yeah, by the way, your team actually stinks. The football team isn't good enough. Because to your point earlier, Felix, these other teams that get in these scandals, they're winning. So the game and winning and all of that can kind of
winning is
about what's really going on.
I had an old coach used to say, winning is the best perfume. It covers up a lot. Coach said that
easily, man.
But
that's the truth.
The other owners won't care unless it hurts their pockets. They don't care about Redskins' record. Redskins can go 0-16 every year. When the Redskins show up to play, and those fans are there, they've made their money.
Yeah.
They've made their money, so they're just sitting there like, well, we've made our money. I'm going to say this because this is such a pervasively male-dominated arena.
Yeah.
So I don't think these problems are just Redskin only. I think this has happened in other places.
Definitely.
And ours is probably ours, and I hope it's the worst case. I hope there's no other stuff going on.
Yeah, not that you hope anything, but this is probably a depiction of the absolute worst case scenario.
Yeah, I hope this is worse. I don't want anybody to have to go through this, but hopefully this was the worst level of it. Other teams have their issues and their dealings that they don't want to get out. So they're not going to jump on him because he could say, all right, y'all forced me to sell the team. I done made $3 billion. You really can't touch me. Let me say what this owner does here. Excuse me. Or this owner does here. Or because they'll keep that network connected to make sure that no one else gets in.
That's true. Mafia mentality. He's right though. Mafia mentality. Yeah, you gotta be very careful who you decide to ostracise. Be very careful because they know. Yeah, that's true.
Like so So when you think of the owners that's been put out recently, Richardson with Carolina, and what was his name with the Clippers?
Sterling.
Sterling.
Yeah.
Those now in 2020, if Daniel Snyder got somewhere saying the N-word,
he's out. That's not even nobody playing with that at all.
If he says something about Hispanics tomorrow, he's out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Will, this goes to the point that I'm seeing some of the comments online, and want to say what's up to my girl Roxy, John Adams, Stuart Small is making up a great, saying a great point, which is women's groups are going to be watching this closely. Easily. Especially how the NFL reacts to this. Like, there's going to be low tolerance for any of this. Well, like, there has to be some sort of, like, will it be enough to just say, now you actually got an HR department? Or, I know that Coach Rivera put out something, about having policies in place and procedures and all that, but will that really be enough? And then a comment by David Coffer, I hope I said your last name correctly. The other owners are just as guilty. Hey, listen, we saw people jumping ship. Look at what happened with Larry Michael. So Larry, you know this about to come out, and now you're gonna retire. Okay, bye, Larry. See ya.
Well, I don't want to say. I think they told him to retire, but that's a whole.
That was more
in the article. Like,
they told him. They told him that, hey, you gotta go.
Once they told him,
you gotta go.
Exactly. Once they told him, you gonna be named in this article. We got a paragraph on you too, Larry. Larry said, y'all know what?
There was this.
Yeah, that was you retire or you fired.
Yeah.
Pick one. Yeah. How you want it to end.
How you want to be portrayed. How you want to be portrayed.
That's all.
No, you said something about other organizations, and I think we talked about it prior to Aaron. Like, for instance, the NFL Network is another example of a place of a hostile environment at a time where you had Marshall Faulk and other players, former players, harassing other women within their company, and they had to let them go. Now the higher ups, I don't think the higher ups weren't let go within that situation. I believe just the talent, right?
It's just the talent.
Just the talent. So
Chris Carter, on Fox.
On Fox.
He was on his show, and the next thing you know, boom, he's gone.
So it's unfortunate. It just happened. Unfortunate it happens, and we need change. And to your point, too, also, Candy, Daniel Snyder's gonna have to be made an example, regardless of where you are with Daniel Snyder. He's gonna have to make an example, and it's either like they can do what they did with. It's either like one option, obviously. We talked about maybe trying to get him away from being an owner, or like suspending him like they did with Kraft. Though I'm always like laughing at how you can suspend an owner. It is what it is, but it's happened, and that was the route that Roger Goodell took with Kraft. Was like, you know what, we'll suspend you, and so that may be a route they'll have to do, because you have to punish. You're going to have to punish Daniel Snyder, even if he wasn't involved with the harassment personally, as it's under his watch. Like, you got to be. He has to be punished for negligence.
Any leadership, it's on you at the end of the day. Regardless if it's a groundskeeper does something, it's still on you. And he has to. And to go to what Candy's saying, you keep giving the NFL some black eyes, because you have this, and right on the heels of the name.
Yeah, I know.
Because when you came out with the name in 2013, 2014, you said, I'm never changing it.
All caps.
You won the trademark battle. Instead of being humble about it, we had never changed the game. All caps, printed.
All caps, bro.
So when this comes back around, you have more of a target on your back.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can remember going to a wrestling game in 1990. This is the year before we won the Super Bowl. 1990. This is probably my second, third game ever on game.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome,
there was maybe one or two people outside protesting.
Yeah, there was not. I
asked my cousin. I was like, "What are they protesting?" And he was like, "Oh, something about the name, blah 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 blah." I'm a kid. All I know a Redskin is a football team. So we go to the game. It was two people there. Nobody gave them the time of day. That was 1990, and it kind of grew and it grew and it grew, and then it goes away because we won.
Yeah, winning.
Then we win, and it would go away. Because if you remember, it was popping up in 2011 and 2012. RG3 shows up. It goes away.
Winning. Yeah.
And then he gets hurt. We have a bad season, name again. So he's brought that black eye has been there, and it look right now you were pretty much forced to change the name because of money. Now you have this.
Yeah.
Will the owners get tired enough to make him do something? I don't know, because like we're saying, the franchise still makes money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're still making money off of us.
And
it wasn't about the money.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. I mean, it wasn't that.
Yeah.
You know, it was some morally incorrect things going on, and they were like, listen. And that goes to show, and now it even makes more sense when you all think about it, to the point of him being so strong on not changing the name. Now the murder of George Floyd, and now you changing the name. I have a very strong reason to believe all of that was in process before the George Floyd murder even happened, because this investigation and this article was in process. You know, it takes a while to interview people to build a story.
Oh yeah, to that extreme. You're talking about all fits. Yeah. You're talking about that. Are you talking about the name change? Or you're just talking about you talking about just preparing the change for the organization? Are you talking about the name change?
Just the name change. Remember, like him just do, you know, him.
I don't know. They said that he was 2 weeks in the process prior to.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think when Ron got hired, he probably said, "We're gonna have to do something about this name." And he probably just said that. And then when the George Floyd tragedy happened, Farrah probably went to him again, like, we've got to do something because this is not gonna work. And then, and I agree with them, they probably were actually starting to do stuff before the bullseye turned to this, because sometimes, because you know, we had to go through the police, and we had to go through the Confederate statues, and we had to go through slavery stuff, and then they were like, oh yeah, by the way, the team in Washington, our nation's capital, slurred. And so by the time they got to us, it looked like, oh, okay, now we're gonna change. But I think he had started planting the seeds when he got hired, and he had to, because you had to say, all right, let's be real, like, you don't want, this is not the island you want to go out on. And probably what expedited it more was when they took Marshall's statue or the plaque or whatever it was. The plaque, because they snatched that quick. And
anything associated with the previous name, they were ridding themselves of. It's out of here. It's gone.
And if you notice today, it did say Washington football team on it. It didn't actually have the name on that press. I
know. I thought it was funny though.
I told y'all.
I thought it was funny.
Football team.
I thought that was so funny. Initially, I thought that was so funny. I was like, we retired the name, but he had the letterhead with the name. I was like, y'all slick.
And the logo.
Yeah, y'all petty. I'm like, y'all petty. Y'all petty. I'm like, y'all petty. Y'all petty. Y'all real petty. I'm like, y'all real petty. Like,
this one was plain.
This one was plain.
And it was absolutely plain. And then you gotta believe that, okay, let's just go ahead and get this behind us, and then we can roll out this new brand.
Yeah. And I think this is going to be a good rebrand. So let all these dominoes fall right here. Let these dominoes fall, and then you can rebrand yourself. Because like the three of us, we remember the team winning. The younger fans don't.
Yeah.
If their attachment to winning is that one RG3 year.
Yeah, that's all they got.
I mean, it's almost sad.
It is sad.
It's not just sad. I mean, at least our arch rivals haven't won much either, but they don't ever have stuff like this.
Yeah, nobody has stuff like this though.
Nobody does.
Nobody does. Exactly. So with the bless, yeah, go ahead. Go Felix.
You just can't get it. It's hard to be a fan, and there's so many options now. You got TV, watch everybody else play, and so he's got to understand he's losing that next generation. Now this rebrand, you can bring them back.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's my thing, Felix. This is my thing. That's my thing, Felix. This is what I'm talking about. This is the thing. Like, so when you sometimes you got to get to the bottom to go to the top. Sometimes you got to tear everything down. You got to tear the walls down to get to the top. And the cool thing about this situation is that you really are starting from ground zero in this aspect. like you got a new coach. You know what I'm saying? That knows football, right? You brought in a new defensive coordinator. The fan base is like excited about that. Like you brought a defensive coordinator with that. It seems like he rivals back the years past with Greg Williams in terms of the mindset of the fans, right? You got a coach in Rivera. You got a young quarterback in Dwayne Haskins. All right, you got rid of Bruce Allen, right?
You drafted Chase Young.
Chase Young. You drafted Chase Young, right? So and now like you fired some of the people that were under the whole Bruce Allen tree anyway, right? So all those dudes are gone. You got so it's a dip, and we made fun of it being the Carolina Skins, right? Well, that looks good now, right? It looks good now because it's a whole different staff. So now you're changing the name, new jerseys. You know what I mean? New everything. You're going to a new direction, a new era. It's a different brand. So if you market it right, just think about it business wise.
Yeah.
If you market it right, you're looking at something very profitable. Now, who's to say? Now, say they luck up if we have a season. If they luck up and win a lot of games this season, wow, that money is looking real nice for this season. That's looking real nice. So now, like that, now they've turned a jacked up situation, in which it is a very jacked up situation, but made a big profit off of it. It sounds, you know what I mean? Because of the direction, not off this situation, but talking about because of the direction of what the free team is going. So there's an opportunity to make it for Snyder to think, you know what? Let me weather the storm, because at the end of the day, my bottom line could be real mean if I do it right.
Yeah, my vote, if I had one.
Yeah.
Is for.
No, I get it. No, I get it. I get it. No, I get it.
We need some examples to be made, but I do want to, because we've been talking about this for a long time, y'all. That time went by fast.
Yeah, it's just popping.
But we got to talk exactly. I want to talk about the rebrand in the new era and feeling like Dan don't need to be a part of that. But anyway, at any rate,
you on that Jeff Bezos train, huh?
I know, Sean Bezos.
Listen, we really want to talk about good business. If we really want to talk about cutting edge, attracting to the younger generation, because they've lost a whole generation. They're held on to us because we remember. Yeah. And that's what we hold on to, hoping that we see it again in our lifetime, right? But they missed an entire generation, right? So you're exactly right that this is an opportunity. And by the way, because we got to talk about the drafting of the Chase Young, and then we have to talk about the loss of Kelvin Harmon on the season, because we got to get to that, y'all. But I'm just saying, like, and we weren't even supposed to be, for everybody listening and watching, we weren't even supposed to be talking this long. Let me just go ahead. But we got a little carried away. We got a little carried away. It was a little bit of breaking news on a Thursday. So we had to talk about it first. But it's such an important point about the opportunity to change this around. Like, okay, somebody's got to be, we know people have gotten fired and this is that and the third, but I still feel like the reason why this went public when it did is because somebody somewhere wants him to be held accountable for all this happening on his watch.
So somebody does. we know everybody got an agenda and everything in life, man.
But there's such an opportunity with this young team.
Yeah.
So straight up and down, I can tell y'all, to the points that you all have already made about Ron Rivera, I have been impressed with Ron Rivera thus far. I mean, truthfully, we have a pretty low bar in which we are comparing him to.
Yes, we do.
In Washington. So it's not like he has to do much to impress us. So, he's got to do in the bare minimum, and then he's just showing common sense, and we all are excited about that. But that's good. That's a good thing. But I really, we talk about the chaos and the turmoil and all of that. Man, I don't want these young guys to have to deal with that. I really want them to be able to have a fresh opportunity and overall just renewed take and feel with this new branding. I think they don't have to carry the weight of even the winning, right? They don't even have to carry the weight of the Super Bowl years that are long gone in the years of losing, right? They have an opportunity now to rebrand and shape this franchise. I think that's huge.
I think so too. I think it's an opportunity. You just can't waste it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You just can't waste this opportunity.
Exactly.
And it's got to be a learning experience, man. For like, to be honest with you, not just for this team, but for other ball clubs. Because, like Felix said, this ain't the only place this happens at. Like, don't be naive. Like, I'm telling people, the listeners, do not be not naive. This is not the only place. Now, to the extreme, I'm not like, I hope this is the worst. Like Felix said, I hope this is the worst. But this is not the only place like this happens. You know what I mean? So let this be a warning to all like owners, front office people, executives that, you know what's happening in DC is a problem, and you don't want this happening in your area. You know what I'm saying? So this is the thing. Like this is a warning sign for multiple sports clubs. Sports clubs.
Exactly. That's why I feel like it's gotta be extra. Like not even extra.
She want the extra. Yo, it gotta be extra.
Yeah.
His head's gotta be cut off. His head's gotta be cut off.
You don't know me. It's gotta be cut off. Like, no, we done with this. New era. Rivera. Right? Ain't that what they call it?
New era Rivera. That's what they call it, bro. That's what's popping in the streets in his name. I didn't know that. New era Rivera. That's what's up, man. I like it.
I mean, they probably call him that. I don't know. I probably said it all wrong.
No, that's all. I like that one. I'm not gonna lie.
But despite all this craziness, y'all, because we're gonna go ahead and get ready to close the show out. Despite all this craziness that this city has had to endure with this football team, Lord, can it be the end? Like, can it stop here? Can it? And we need it to. I think the fan base deserves it. I feel so sorry for everyone who has had to endure such turmoil and despair working over there. But we gotta hold some people accountable. There's got to be some accountability measures in there, please. Washington football team, get you an HR department with some standard operating procedures and some protocols. It's 2020. I would like, please, at the very least, can you do that? And we got it, because this is tough on the young guys. I know I said we get ready to close the show out, but we got a young core, a young group that have the ability to be powerhouses. And stuff like this is heartbreaking. It's already putting a heavy weight on their shoulders. Because ask yourself, would you want to play for a team that is known for this? No. No, you don't want to work for an organization that's known for this type of behavior. And so it is tough, and it's got to be reshaped. It's already, if you ask me, being basically rebuilt from the ground up. You know what I mean? With getting rid of some of that, trash, for lack of a better word, because I was talking fast and I couldn't figure out anything else to call it.
Cool. You gotta be PC. That was good. Trash. That's good. You're good. You're good. Trash was good.
But that was say the R word. I called them the Washington football team.
Yeah, exactly.
I will not slip up on that.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. But the young guys, before we close, how excited are y'all about this young team? How excited?
I mean, the potential is there. And I mean, starting with the defensive line alone, I mean, that is scary. And those boys are young.
Yeah, man.
And it's crazy for all the things we say about Bruce, and we can say a lot of things.
Yeah.
Those draft picks were the right thing. Everyone, you win in the league by lines, offensive line, defensive line. And we've built that side of the line. Mm-hmm. And so with this whole rebrand, those kids just want to play football. They don't care about what the name was or whatever. They don't care about what people were doing that passes. They weren't really here for it. They just want to come to win. Mm-hmm. And they've drafted the right kids to do it. We're getting away from, let's sign this big free agent, let's throw a whole lot of money at them. Let's see if it works. That failed time and time again. You can go from Haynesworth to Norman. It failed.
Right.
Poor Norman.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah. Did y'all say Norman? Say we
I said poor
sorry.
Norman. I just said
There
poor
you go.
Norman.
Yeah, man. It's neither here nor there. His one good year, we couldn't get to the playoffs.
I know, right?
That wasn't even his fault.
That was his fault, but that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. He's actually doing his job. But no, these young kids have potential, and they just want to play. If you look at these kids, they're working out. Even Harmon, he got injured. He was working out. They weren't sitting on their laurels like I made it. Young got drafted, works out. That's what you see him doing.
Yeah.
All that what the previous coaching regime had to say about Haskins, he's proving everybody wrong. He's working.
Yeah, working hard, man.
Working. And so they just want to play. So hopefully, and I do believe we'll have some version of a season because you can control pro athletes a lot more. You can control college and high school. So I don't think there'll be any high school college football in the fall. Yeah. I think the NFL will find a way. Mm-hmm. They'll find a way to whatever, and we'll have some semblance of a season. Now, what might happen, you never know. But I'm excited for Ron to actually work with these young men because I think he will instill the right things in these young men. Mm-hmm. And that's probably what I'm most excited to see. Will I be concerned about wins and losses this year? Not really. I just want to build a good team because we got to stop hoping for, we're going to go from 3-13 to 13-3.
Oh, yeah.
No.
That's ridiculous.
I need to see a few more wins, and I need to see a team that's competitive.
Mm-hmm.
If I do that, that's a win. That's a win for me.
Man, I'm just happy to talk football rather than talk other stuff. It's been annoying. It's been an annoying process. I'm not gonna lie to y'all,
this
man.
TMZ stuff?
I hate it with a passion. You have no idea. I hate Twitter. I hate all that stuff now. I just do. I just dislike social media. And I just do. I'm just getting to a point where now, like, no names, no scandals, just talk football. I mean, like, I love what Felix was talking about, man. It's just like the young guys, man, like, they hungry. You know what I mean? We haven't seen this on this type of team in a long time. These guys are hungry. That's the thing. Like, you like to see passion, and these dudes want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we saw a little bit with certain young players like Jonathan Allen. Like, he's hungry. He's pissed off at losing. He hates it. But I'm glad like, in terms of the overall mindset of the defense, you could just see it, man. Like, they want to be great. And I know a lot of people, when you compare that defensive line, and I'll say, because I want all the smoke. I'm cool with it. Like, when you look at that defensive line, you can compare it to the Niners, the 49ers. I don't care anybody tell me. Like, anytime you got a question, think about this. And this is the realest thing you're going to hear any skins talk or whatever. Anytime you got a question about who you going to bench, Jonathan Allen, Payne, or Ioannidis, because you're going to a 4-3, you got a serious problem. I mean that in a good way. You got a serious problem. Because, you know what I mean? Like, it ends.
Sweat, Young, and Kerrigan. And it's like, Sweat can play. Like,
he can play. And look, and this is the thing about Sweat. This is funny. Sweat had about 7.5 to 8 sacks, right, last year. Mm-hmm. That was a bad year for him as a rookie. And he was playing out of position. He's playing out of position.
He had to drop in cover?
Yeah, dropping coverage. And he got that many sacks, dropping back in coverage. So you adding in a guy in Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio. So you got Chase Young, Sweat. You can rotate Kerrigan, right? And then we already talked about the inside dudes. You got a young Tim Settle on other teams will probably start that he's going to have to work hard to crack this lineup. Yeah. This defensive line is so scary, and you want them to be able to focus on football and put that out there. Like, you got so many stories that could coming into camp. Like Felix said, hopefully we'll have some relevance of football. But if that happens, man, like, their storylines are amazing. Like Dwayne Haskins, how many times we gonna see them on IG? Like, dude, take his craft serious. Like, this is real. Like, he's taking his craft serious. So I'm with it. Like, I mean, I like talking football. This is amazing. Like, that part. Felix, you gave me life, man. You talking football, man. I was like, we talking about names and scandals. We can talk about football. We ain't talking about no days of our lives or one life to live. We talking about football, so I'm good.
Hey, man. I like the show, man. You got it.
I'm telling you. Yeah. So,
but like, I was.
Oh, go ahead.
My favorite player is Steven Sims. I'm ready.
Oh man, he's about to eat too. He's about to eat.
And remember, I was first day at camp. I was like, I like the Sims kid, and we decided to get rid of that Quinn guy. And
Oh, you already know why I stand with that. Hey, so like we putting out names. Gandy Golden, man, that's the dude right there, man. That's the dude right
it's
there.
gonna be his shot.
That's the dude right there. Gandy Golden is the dude right there. That is the dude.
AGG.
That is the dude right there. That is the dude.
He got the nickname.
He do. He got it already. He need to brand that. He need to brand that for that money so he get that bag.
He's done it already. Listen, so Ron Rivera, the hope is to have everything rebranded and get everything going before camp, which would be extremely impressive. But let me tell you, and a lot of people are like, you can't get stuff done that fast. Something tells me that Ron Rivera is going to try to do it that fast for the exact reason that you all were just talking about, so that they can focus on football. If there is a season, Ron Rivera has made it very clear that starting July 28th or whenever it starts, he's not dealing with no name change conversations. He's not dealing with any scandal conversations. This is just not going to happen on his watch. Not once camp starts. He's going to do all that now. But when camp start, it's showtime. And I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. Y'all, we done did this for an hour and I'm about to close us out. For real this time.
What's your guess on the name? I want to hear your guess real quick.
I don't know. They need to make it the Red Wolves.
That's what I'm going with, man. I want
the Red Wolves,
that name.
I want the Red Wolves. That thing, I take that.
That's my number one.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was gonna be the Warriors. I was like, oh, okay. Probably be the
Warriors. If he could have snuck away with the Warriors, he could have did that. He could have did that 6-7 years ago. It would have been okay. It's too late for Warriors.
Yeah, I think the Red Wolves is cool because it's original. I like it, and then you keep the HTTR. I think that's very important on the low. Like I think people they don't talk about how important that is. That's very important.
You can still say HTTR, and it's still the same.
Yeah, it's not a lot of change you're gonna have to do with that. Not a lot.
It just seems like it's getting a lot of traction. I have to honestly say, I felt like for a minute when that whole trademark situation was going on, I was like, well, if they're not calling this dude for the name, maybe they already picked the name and the name isn't one of the names that he got on the list.
Yeah, that's one of the ones he don't have.
Exactly. Everybody think about one of the names that he doesn't have. And that's probably the name.
There's a college team, Arkansas State, where he could easily, Dan could say, here go $20 million to your university.
You can take care of that.
It's NFL. It's NFL money. Like, and you can call them the Red Bulls tomorrow.
I mean, hey, listen.
I wanted to call them the Skins, but they don't want to do that. I wanted to call them the Skins, but nobody wanted my lifestyle.
Washington football team.
I said Skins, though. I said Skins. I'm talking about just the Skins. That's not even anything wrong. That's not even wrong. But then I guess that could be offensive too. So I'm not going to. Never mind. I can't even.
Just leave it.
I'm not even about that life anymore. I'm not even about names anymore, man. I'm not even about names anymore.
I can't wait. Here's one thing I will tell y'all, because this is going to be the third time I've tried to close the conversation out. We keep talking.
The last time was mine.
We keep talking. We go on a roll. I kind of figured this was going to happen, but not in this way. But it's cool. It's excellent. Actually, it's pretty awesome. I'm gonna miss seeing y'all at training camp.
Oh yeah, I ain't going out there.
We all gonna see each other.
We
won't see each other in Richmond. I'll say that. We won't.
So you may not see me at the games, man. The COVID got me taken care of, man. I'm trying to live, man. I ain't trying to die.
It probably ain't gonna be much fans. It's gonna be us, the media.
It's gonna be us.
Yeah.
They're gonna switch us around.
I'll be out there at training camp in the heat.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to see y'all in Richmond.
Yeah.
Training camp.
I'm wearing gloves though. I'm wearing a lot of gloves.
Now listen, I might not be nowhere near you. I might be out there with a CWall mask on and some gloves.
It's hot. I like that.
There ain't gonna be no fans, so we at least can spread out.
Yeah, man. That's why nobody coughing on me. We good, man. We good. Nobody coughing on me. I won't be like, it's a pollen. Nah, I ain't a pollen. You got COVID. Get away from me.
Everybody watching can see we joke a lot. I think Rihanna may have shared with y'all when Rihanna was on the show. We're like a family. That's real. That's serious. I wish I could have everybody on the show at one time, but that would be crazy and that would be bonkers. So how that goes. But thank y'all so much for doing the show. I appreciate y'all. We got to do this again, of course.
Definitely.
Oh,
And spend
definitely.
a whole
We
another
definitely gotta do
hour
it.
on a Thursday or another day when
Sound good to
all
me.
everything is just going crazy.
We
But
gonna
hopefully,
talk football. We gonna talk 4-3
Yeah, we talk
formation.
football.
we're
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
gonna
talk
talk
about
football.
about nickel
football next
And
packages.
we can
time.
talk basketball too, right? We gonna talk about my man Felix's Wizards. We can talk about
Oh
John
Lord,
Wall.
I'm
that I don't want to. I don't want to see the.
no.
I don't want to see the summer team. I don't want to see the summer team. That's what we get. We get the summer
Wait, I
league
just
team.
had to laugh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh that hard.
I love my Wizards, but that's the summer league team that's going that that's down in
Oh,
Orlando.
it's going to Orlando. Yeah, that don't count.
That's the summer
This
league.
ain't a real This ain't a real season anyway. I'm
I
on
don't.
that side. Not a real season.
It's definitely an asterisk season. This don't
Yeah, I
count.
mean, as much I'm a Lakers fan, but this ain't a real season. I don't care anybody tell me. I don't even know why they having the season. To be real with you, this is ridiculous.
Money
I
Y'all
know, but this is
know.
ridiculous. This is
and to
ridiculous.
get Braun a ring, but that's
Nah, but
not the
he
story.
shouldn't want this ring though.
But we
He
gotta
should want
handle
this
that.
ring though.
We gotta talk about that on another show, y'all.
Okay, so we will.
Wa-
All right.
Washington football fans, keep the faith, keep hope alive. Better days ahead. And I will talk to y'all next week. See y'all.